Hello, and welcome to the Tavern Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, Media group, Facebook group, Twittering, Instagram, and youtube.com/Eric Tenkar, all one word, ERIKTENKAR. It's where we host our live streams. Tomorrow, I believe at noon, that would be Monday, December 21st, about noon Eastern, I'll be hosting Alyssa Faden, probably the premier RPG cartographer in our field. Woohoo! Wednesday night, Bad Mike from North Texas and myself will be hosting the Stewarts, Mike and Liz. If you don't know who they are, and you should, they were best probably known for Save or Die, also now known for Save for Half. They have a Castles and Crusades podcast. They are like the couple of the OSR. So looking forward to that. We've been actually toying with this idea. I think we brought it up initially when I was just doing solo podcasts, nearly 2 years ago. So I'm glad it's happening. That'll be Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the YouTube stream. And Christmas Day, Christmas night, myself and Joe the Lawyer, we're going to be kicking off another live stream every other Friday, but we're going to kick it off on Christmas. And that is Iron Rations. So, fun stuff. All the stuff, of course, will be shown. Let's see, we put up here on the podcast side. So, what am I going to talk about today? Well, I'm going to be talking about another podcast, but not this podcast. I'm going to be talking about the RPG Ramblings podcast. Now, the RPG Ramblings podcast is by Jeff Jones. If you don't know who Jeff Jones is, you should. Jeff is the layout artist on Torchlight, so any fuck-ups are mine. But if you like the way it looks, it's definitely Jeff, because I can't do that shit. Jeff's got a great eye for this stuff. So he started a podcast where he interviews movers and shakers, creators within the OSR. His first two guests on the initial podcast, they're separate recordings. Tim Shorts is the first guest. And... how did I had the whole thing open? I thought, there we go. And Ben Lawrence is the second guest. Now, I've known Tim for years. I've been following Gothard Manor since God knows when. I've been supporting Tim's Patreon or Patreon, however we call it, ever since the beginning. I love getting my assorted shit from Tim, because Tim is a really good creator, and he's effectively been doing zines for ages. A lot of his earlier stuff with the Gothard Manor and Patreon have been zines. So he now is probably the host of, I guess, the only RPG zine community on Facebook. He owns the group. It's an amazing group, I swear to God. It is very active, and if you have any thought about creating a zine, you should join it. All right? You get to hear words of wisdom from people like Phil Reed and others, and Phil Reed is amazing with the work that he does on zines. But just to hear Tim's history into getting into gaming and his history in zines. Again, I've known Tim. God, I'm afraid to even venture a guess, but I know I've been conversing with Tim since long before I've been retired. I've been retired now for it'll be nearly 5 years. So let's say I've known Tim for 7 or 8 of those years fairly well. I got to learn stuff about Tim that I did not know, and that he was creating zines back in his college days, which I found truly, truly interesting. It altogether, the first episode, I think, is an hour and a half, an hour and 40. I'm not 100% sure. It's well produced. If you're listening to this podcast, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, Jeff really put together a professional podcast compared to Tenkar's shit," and that's true. Okay, but I think Jeff has found his corner of the podcast sphere that's going to do him real well, and I'm looking forward to more episodes. Actually, I'm looking forward to finishing this one. I started. I listened to Tim Short's half, and I started the Ben Lawrence half, and then I had to put it down. And when I came back, I was like, I'm going to listen to Ben Lawrence, but I'm going to fast forward to the back. And why did I fast forward to the end of the episode? Well, quite simply because I knew there was a Tenkar Easter egg at the end. So, if you are going to listen to it, and I will advise that you do, it's very interesting. It's very relaxed. That's the other thing too. And I've actually discussed this with Jeff. The best podcasts for me are the ones that when you listen to, you're listening to a conversation. You aren't listening to bullet points or a script. You're listening to an organic conversation. And Jeff does a great job on his RPG Ramblings podcast in getting organic conversations. And it's spot on. So if you're going to add a podcast to your list, that's certainly one to do so. Now, if you do skip ahead to the back of the episode, or if you listen past the closing music, the outro, as I call it, you might hear, again, there's an Easter egg at the end. It does involve me. And when a topic comes up, this is what I'm discussing. Come on, there you go. So that will help you better visualize the topic that gets snuck in there. I really like the way Jeff put that together. So RPG Ramblings, it's a new podcast. It's going to be a series of interviews. Again, I'm solidly in Jeff's corner on this. I'm really looking forward to it, and I need to finish listening to it because, like I said, I really enjoyed the Tim Schwartz bit, and the beginning with Ben Lawrence was damn solid. But I got to finish it, folks. You can't go wrong. All right, it gets the tavern recommendation. It's consider it a buyback. All right, it can't get enough Tenkar, not enough Heshy Tischler. If you are a New Yorker, you really got to look up Heshy Tischler and see a few of his YouTube videos. He's a politician in Brooklyn, and you can't get enough Heshy. Well, you know what? I don't think you can get enough RPG Ramblings. Hopefully, you can't get enough Tenkar. It's just not. You can't have too much Tenkar, folks. We are in the midst of the pandemic, and what does that mean? It means the holidays are coming up, right? Christmas, Friday. My niece is being tested for COVID Monday morning. She is going to school from home. At the end of her school day, Uncle is driving out to Long Island to pick her up. My sister and her husband are also getting tested. And my sister is, well, I think the school year is done for college students. So she was working from home anyway, but I don't think she's even working for the next couple of weeks. My brother-in-law is still working, but probably won't be interacting with any of his clients, at least not on a physical basis. So, and my son, because again, we're talking about the COVID, has an unscheduled, at least a week-long vacation from work because the way his office is set up, the desks are about 5.5 feet apart, and his desk neighbor tested positive for COVID the other day. So Chris is home, isolating, is out in Salt Lake, and probably gonna be bored out of a skull. But hey, at least you're getting paid. COVID is real, folks. Use your common sense. Be safe, be well. God bless you all. It's the holiday season. And holiday really means holy day. And it's the holidays for many religions out there right now. So God bless. May the spirits bless you. Keep safe. Be well. Roll those dice, and I will talk with you all. Knock on wood, God willing, tomorrow. All right, folks. Latest.